Welcome back, everybody, to what is now the Bad Guy Reloaded podcast. I'm back and better than ever. Huge shout out goes to Boot Crew Media for giving me this amazing studio to record in. Huge shout out to Exclave Spirits and Andrew Albert for making everything happen and putting the pieces together. I couldn't do this without either one of y'all. So huge shout out to y'all. Much appreciation. But man, a lot of people probably wondering what happened. What happened? Like, what's going on, man? Where you go at? So the last time the podcast was up and running, we was in Atlanta. I did a couple episodes, one with my sister and just a couple kind of dolo. And life just kind of hit me like a ton of bricks, which happens to most people and it is to be expected. And how you handle it is different. And how I decided to handle it was just to kind of retreat a little bit from the public eye. Not that anybody cared, but man, I just had a lot going on. It was a lot more to do with me that I felt like I couldn't really come out onto the internet and say all the things I want to say, my opinions, throwing stuff out there. I didn't feel like I was right within. Because then at what point, who are you? Like, you can't throw rocks in a glass house. And everybody's gonna be in a glass house forever, but my shit was already shattered. So it was like, all right, you got to get right. But the time period from when the podcast was last going to now, a million things changed for me, and for the better. But how they changed was pretty rough, and rightfully so, just because I think in order for people to grow, life kind of has to break you a little bit. And that is what I felt like happened to me. So I'm riding high. I'm working for a big company. I'm in Atlanta. I just got relocated from Dallas to Atlanta. That was my job took me to Atlanta. So I'm lit. I'm turned up. Just got moved to the A and got a nice apartment in Buckhead. Like I'm doing it up. But I just really was not messing with the job I was doing. It just was not right for me. And I didn't feel happy on a daily basis. I'm like, man, I'm sitting there doing this bullshit job. Every day I wake up, I'm frustrated. I have to work this job. You do your whole day. And at the end of the day, I don't even feel like doing nothing because I'm just so drained mentally, physically. Like, I'm just not even trying to do none of this anymore. Like, what's the point of this? So me being me, thinking that the problem has to be what's around me and not who is surrounding. I'm like, man, fuck that job. I walk from the job, pick up a couple other ones just to hustle in the meantime until I find something that I really want to do. So I'm hustling, I'm doing whatever. And that was really straining on me. So I'm like, okay, this not gonna shake either. So I'm like, all right, I found another job that was in the nonprofit realm. That was the one that was supposed to be the fulfilling job. So I'm like, all right, bet. I'm back now. I'm back on my everyday kick because I got a job that is meaningful. It's something that aligns with my values, and this is what I want to do. So I should be straight now. So that job was in New Orleans. That's the job that brought me back home. So I go from Atlanta to New Orleans. So me being me again, thinking I'm back home with a new job, I have no more problems. Like I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. So I'm doing that job. Nope, ain't it. Wrong. When Charlie Murphy say wrong. So that was not it. And that fell apart. So I'm just like, damn. And during these times, like during all these moves, I actually was trying to do the podcast. Like I tried to record with a couple of my friends. I tried to record with myself. My laptop was messing up, but all these other things, I'm like, none of it felt right. Like I couldn't even sit down and record for real because I'm just like, this ain't right. Like I don't even feel right kicking my shit on the internet to everybody else. And I'm kind of free falling, like just spiraling completely on my own. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna just say fuck it for a while and get my shit together. But not really even knowing how I was gonna do that. I'm just like, man, I'm gonna give it some time. I'm straight, man. It's the jobs, it's the money, it's the this, that. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I take another job. This is all just months going by. I'm speeding through it, but this is a long time. So I take another job that brings me back to Dallas. So I'm happy because I really like that. I fuck with Dallas. I got a lot of partners in Dallas, friends, and it's a great city to be in. So I'm like, bet I'm going to Dallas, going to make some easy money, and I'm gonna be driving. I got offered a job driving a box truck. So on from the outside looking in, the box truck drive is like glamorous because I'm getting paid to travel basically. And that's how I would break it down to people. I'm like, look, you paying me to take road trips. I like to drive anyway. So who's the real winner here? So within about 3 months, maybe, I went from Texas to Florida to New York to Oregon to California and everywhere in between. So people on the outside like, damn, bro, you living it up. Because when I get to where I'm going, I was having a great time. Like I was in Tampa for the Super Bowl. I was in New York. The week Fashion Week was starting. Like I went to Portland. Like I was having a good time when I got there. But I think this is why social media is not real life. Or no, you never know what somebody really is dealing with, living with, or going through. Because in between all of those turned up places that I'm going, is me in a truck by myself, completely dolo. Just me and whatever music I choose to listen to or whoever I choose to talk to. But, you can't do that for 12, 14 hours at a time. So, and the truck, the cab of the truck is probably no bigger than this table. Like the seat right here, there's just one seat next to you. Like that's literally all it is. So you got to think about that. And the times that I'm going in between all these cities and all these states, I probably saw 30 something states in 2 months or maybe like 45 days or whatever it was. You just sitting in there, sitting with your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, whatever you've been trying to hide from, duck off from, is right in your face, and there's nothing you can really do about it. So there's no way you can go. You can't distract yourself. Like you can't go party and turn up. You can't go, just scroll on social media all day because you're driving. Like there's nothing. You have to really just sit and think all day long, and that was a really humbling, eye-opening, and valuable experience for me because I feel like that's what I needed. If I would have been able to have something along those lines like that when I was in Atlanta, I could have kept the podcast going. Or I could have kept doing whatever I was doing just because I would have realized that it's not what's going on around me that's fucking me up, it's me that's fucking me up because I'm just trying to act like it's not. So that was a real big thing. I had to break down so many things, and half of them are past issues, but I think that's a big part of life anyway. Things happen to people and we do things, but we never really make peace with it, either what we did or what was done to us. And we think we could just, shit happens and move on, but depending on what you really have had happen to you in your life, you may not be able to do that. And or what you have done in your life, you may think, no, I'm straight. That's on them because they got to deal with it. But that shit comes back to you at some point. You might be straight right now, but you may not be when it's down the line. So I had to really break down a lot of shit talking about masculinity, my own ego, inflated sense of self, like all of that, all these things. Like I had to hit people up, like get right with people. I'm talking to my friends, my family, people from my past, like shit like that. It really gets real if you're doing the work that you really need to do. And I think everybody has to do that at some point. If you want to be a decent person or like not even a decent person, because depending on what you've done or what has been done to you, some people may never see you like that. But if you want to be okay with yourself, you got to do that work. And before that, I don't think I was doing it. I don't think I was being honest with myself. So that's why I had to just fall back because I'm like, the fuck I look like sitting here talking to somebody else who might think, oh, he's got it put together, but in private, I can't even sit with myself. So and that ain't right. That's lame. That's not even how you're supposed to be in real life. You can't be walking around parading yourself as one thing if you're really not that. So that's just how it was. And that job in Dallas, driving that truck, really like it hit me in my mouth kind of, and I hit a low point because I didn't know how to deal with it. Coming to the realization that maybe I'm not perfect shook me up a little bit. And not to say perfect, but the average person might think that they don't have as many problems as they do. So having to sit down and really dissect why I am the way I am, why do I think the things I think, why did I do the things I did, and how do we fix that going forward? That was a big thing. And it's like a long, long process. And half of it is just emotions. It's not even things you did, it's just emotions I didn't really know how to sit with or feel. Like I didn't know how to feel about it. And one night I'm sitting on my partner's balcony and we just sitting there talking, drinking, how we always been doing for years. Um, and he probably said some of the most simple shit to me. Like it was incredibly simple. Anybody could say it. But when he said it, it hit so close to home. Like it really changed how I was looking at myself. Cause I just went on this long thing, a tangent, talking about this, why I feel this way, why I feel that way, why this, why that. And he listened the whole time, ain't say too much. And then when I stopped, when I finally shut up, he was like, man, look, bro, me too. And I was just like, God damn. But it's so, especially as a man, that's why I talked about masculinity, because it's so easy to just feel like you got the weight of the world, of your world, on your shoulders, and you can't talk to nobody about it. You can't be vulnerable. You can't be emotional. So all these things I'm telling him I'm feeling, whether it's about depression, relationships, life, parents, everything. I'm like, bro, I just don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't know what to do, you know, about everything. And he's like, look, bro, you're not alone. Like, me too. And he told me like that's some of the most, he read that in another book. I can't recall the name of it, but that was some of the most vital advice that I had received. Probably I can't even remember anything that hit me so simple that hit me like that, other than the one other person who I was talking to at that time. And it's just like, damn, realizing that one, you're not perfect. 9 times out of 10, you're probably really fucked up just because that's what humans are. But two, I think what fucks us up more is that we think because we know we're fucked up, we gotta hide that. Because we're like, damn. And that's our ego. Your ego gonna tell you you're fucked up, but you can't let him know you fucked up. You can't let her know you fucked up. You gotta be perfect to them because they're looking at you, they're watching you, they care about that. When in reality, they probably don't. The average person got so much shit going on, they don't give a fuck about what you got. So, but our own mind is telling us they're watching you. Everybody's watching you. So we're putting that pressure on as we're doing all these things that really may or may not even matter. But, that was what I was doing to myself. If you're not, then I'm sorry. I just wasted your time. But that is what I was doing. And having somebody near and dear to me tell me like, me too, but mean it. And he broke it down after that. I'm simplifying everything he's saying, but like I see you, I hear you, I feel you in all them type of ways. That was huge for me. And then the next thing after that, after he told me that, I kind of started to, pull myself up a little bit. But I had another real close friend. We at that in this time period, we wasn't talking like that. Like I wasn't calling, checking on her. She wasn't calling, checking on me every blue moon. So randomly, she hit me up or I hit her up and was like, what's been up? Like, how you been? And I told her the same shit I told him. I'm like, man, look, this ain't it. Like I'm having a rough time right now. Life is really whooping my ass. Like I'm trying to fight, but this bitch got hands. Like I don't know what to do. And we have a really close bond, no matter how long we go without talking. And I understand her and she understand me. So she was like, look, that's not you. Get your shit together. And that's really like all she said, like shake back. But to hear that come from those two people, depending on the dynamics of your relationships, I'm like, fuck, all right, now I gotta shake back. But doing that work in all the time periods from before Dallas, Atlanta, New Orleans, Dallas again, back to New Orleans, that shit put me in a position to where I felt like I could be sitting right here today, back in front of all your screens, about to get on your nerves because now I'm here and I'm right and I'm back and I'm better than ever than I was before, at least. So, you know, that's just what it is. We're gonna spend more time growing, but this is gonna lead into everything else for the rest of our lives. You might as well do that work right now. So in the meantime, I got a lot more shit coming for y'all. We got all these mics. We're gonna have guests coming, um, live streams, sporting events, interviews, all type of great stuff coming. So make sure you tune in. You know, it's gonna be a fun time. And I'm just here to just have fun and talk shit like the rest of everybody else. So if you're rocking with me, keep rocking with me. If not, we here. I'm back.